pastime, there's an opportunity to wield a powerful tool here. I think there's a lot of
We got to play devil's advocate with ourselves.
yeah, maybe to an
Heaven's advocate.
extent.
We'll play angel's advocate for AI.
Yeah, to an extent. I think it's important to emphasize all of the when you
Future version of us and have this conversation today with ourselves 10 years from now.
Mhm.
What was John Connor's mom's name? I can't remember. Linda Hamilton played her. Terminator 2. Well, if we could have this conversation with her in 10 years, aren't there, that's not a certain future, and we have to live in the world. So, what are the benefits, and how do we embrace those benefits appropriately with enough caution, enough reservation, enough concern to not just throw open the floodgates and become the problem?
Yeah, I think this is why I follow Andrew Torba because I don't really get what he's doing, but but I understand your perspective, and
Yeah.
so what would it look like to have a so-called imagine Facebook or Twitter, anybody doing something like that? It
Mm-hmm.
basically means you can't post memes,
Right.
you can't post videos unless you're paying to use the platform.
Right.
So
But that's part of the illusion, right? Because we all are paying.
yeah,
One way or another, we're paying.
yes,
It's just the one platform requires dollars.
yes. Is it coming from my data or from
Right.
my bank account?
Right.
So he did that move, and as far as they can tell, he said when we did that, we've completely eliminated pornographic content.
Wow.
Like his word was zero. There's been
you can have that AI on your phone, on your computer, whatever. Don't allow anything, because all the AI, all the filters now, there's this, that, or the other. They either overdo it and you can't access a site you need to, or there's so many. The proliferation is so.
To do it at his grade level so that it sounds suspicious, but you still have to edit it. But this, I don't think this is something that parents are aware of. I don't think parents, just in general, like if you just kind of pull the masses, I don't think they're assuming that their kid is using AI to do
Right.
homework. You probably wouldn't know.
But
So
he was smart enough to know I can't just ask it for a book.
best use of your time is to have somebody create and you just edit down to what you think is a representation of your self concept. Like, oh, that's how I would say it. I wouldn't be that, wouldn't use that vocabulary, and I wouldn't sound that smart, and it would be a little more disorganized. It's like, why are you
So now
spending time creating that?
and that is now his own self-image. I'm not smart enough to use that word. I'm not organized enough to employ that thought. So I've got to schools are considering going back to paper tests with a pencil
Mm-hmm.
just to mitigate the AI intrusion. Okay, but we're trying to be positive here, and I took us down
Right,
I took us down a negative road.
Okay, here's another example of what I think could be positive. I I use if I'm using this wisely, I'm not saying, oh, okay, that's all I need to know about them. It at least just gives me a touch point for where they're coming from, what their background is, and then I can investigate. It's like I could be like, the guy's name is Jack. Okay, tell me more about Jack. What are the last three articles he's written?
Right.
What are his most popular articles? What's his most infamous articles? What, like, I could use it to dig and cull. For now.
Yeah. Right. Right. Good point. So you just scale this up to an ultimate kind of risk. We're talking about an existential threat, which makes the possible benefits automatically get weighted in a different way, because it's hard to have an ultimate good equal to an ultimate danger.
Yeah.
In the same, it's not the same as a
Enforcing chemical reactions.
right.
It's different than um like as in it as a easier example, I was talking with a client of mine about how accessing a part of himself which was very um difficult and embarrassing. He in the past when
That it is a fundamentally dangerous with potentially lesser benefits, but the ratio is so different. It's like, okay, so maybe it can help here and here, and that's what this conversation is, but the risk is so much here. But I think how it's being positioned is no, the benefits are equal to the risk. It's like This could solve global warming. This could solve cancer. This could solve, there's so many, because the medical benefits of AI would be a huge one, a huge, uh, but
Getting
that's,
more sleep.
yeah, but that's a,
It's not as sexy.
no, and that's not people's umbilical cords are too attached in other
Yeah.
ways to other things.
Yeah. Um, there's that.
The
Like,
benefit of a healthy diet takes 6 months to a year for me to see. The benefit of a drug takes 2 days.
yeah, and it comes with that promise, like this is it, man.
Yeah.
This is what you need, and then your problem goes away. And
Yeah.
if there's a new one, then I think the obvious danger is if the AI actually has more
Authority,
influence
right?
than the radiologist does. Like maybe the radiologist says, "I actually disagree with this, and I want to follow my gut,"
Right.
and then the supervisor says, "No, we don't trust gut. We
Right.
trust mentat.
Right.
So we both." Needs to be delivered.
Mm-hmm.
There's a timing to that. There's a cadence to that. There's a phrasing to that. There's an understanding of what to say and what not to say. And if we are just consulting these AI mentat figures that just give us the raw data, if a doctor comes and tells me the jargon answer, it's just gonna freak me the freak out. I'm just
Right.
gonna be like, what does that mean? Well, it could mean this, could mean this, could mean this.
Right.
That's so terrifying. What if a doctor came and said, look, you're gonna be okay?
Yeah.
And then I'll tell you,
Right.
you have something
was going to be the case.
No.
So 20 years ago, when I got LASIK surgery, there was a hybrid of the that kind of surgery. If it was done at all, it was rare, and it was by a doctor with a tool.
Mm-hmm.
I was at the beginning of laser surgery, and so they numb you, they hold your eye open, they take
In our
right.
level of affect, it's going to require increasingly mechanized
Exactly.
tools.
So right now we default to, okay, but I'm going to trust a human because they're going to make the hard call based on gut and experience in a way that the machine might not have that sophistication of emotional nuance and all those things. Okay, but 10 years from now, when I need to get operated on and there's a robot arm was a
Thank
was
you,
a
sir.
beautifully poetic kind of encapsulation of an idea that had poetry and heart in it.
Good.
That an AI couldn't have done that.
Good. Thank you.
Until 10 years from now when it can.
Until they study me.
Yeah.
When you are at the wrong level of analysis, life is going to look perverted to you. When you're focused on the 20th decimal place, cortex. So now I'm not thinking through my actions. I'm remembering fear and then I'm acting out as a consequence of that. So when we look at the heat death of the universe or we look at this genetic abnormality that you have, we're talking about things that we actually cannot understand. We have to take it in faith. This is something that's real, even though I can't understand it.
Okay, so bringing the spiritual into it, we're both Christians. We both have a biblical worldview. and I pray to get healed, or whatever it is. At what point are we being incentivized to trade away still part of our human distinction as redeemed creatures before God who have access to a different realm of resources, but we don't always know how to. Faith is tricky. Faith is
involved our physicality will be with the AI rituals that we create. So like um I'm OCD, touch a door knob, wash my hands 30 times. That's an obvious ritual.
right.
Or I'm online, I use AI to filter porn. I don't have to like reconcile with my intentions. I can just be like, do that thing for me so that I don't have to the AI becomes a use onto the environment and say, I'm not interested in porn, so I want to see it. If I am addicted to porn, I'm tempted, I can use AI as an external locus of control that says, please don't let me see that. Because if I see it, I'm gonna keep looking at it. So yeah, there's a right and a wrong way to do the same thing. One would increase the external sense of control, which decreases my personal responsibility.
Rhythmize your personality. I can create you, recreate you. It's already there in Facebook's data system. It knows your preferences, it knows your language, it scanned your blogs, any video, it knows your inflection, your tone, and it can algorithmize your projected answers with a surprising degree of accuracy. And that's just at the present level. 5, 10 degenerative disease, you can accelerate that decision outside of natural death. You can say, digitize me. And so now you have an afterlife. You have an eternal life that is, and I photorealistic. It's three-dimensional. You get uploaded to that and you can interact in that world. So that world isn't flat to you, it's multi-dimensional. Your avatar in that world has a house, has food, has etc. So it really is like an afterlife. And not only can I talk to you in that world, but I can project. I can put on my goggles and go to that world with you. Mm-hmm. So you can be in this world and I can be in that world. And that would be a proposed benefit. How do we see through the benefits that are positioned as benefits and aren't? Because that would be it. That we're talking about the benefits of AI. Mm-hmm. For millions of people, that would be like, wow, I want that.
Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, in the mechanistic worldview, what is this thing? How is it doing that? Sure, those gene to meet that need. But it's not because that wasn't possible before. And it's not because wise people didn't know how to do that in the past. It's just now we've mechanized it.
Yeah.
Now we found a way to trick you into thinking that you're doing that. So the loss is you're not actually doing that, but you think you're doing it. So you live in a delusional fantasy world.
Yeah.
Now the thing is, like, Socrates had his personal daemon that he consulted.
Yeah.
That was a smart guy.
Yeah.
He got a lot of things right. When I go into the metaverse and talk to photoreal same language that somebody does. So it's like, what's the realer conversation?
Right.
One of them is literally talking to Jesus, where one of them is merely praying to who they think Jesus is.
Right.
So yeah, what's your worldview? If your
Right.
worldview is mechanistic, then yeah, prayer is bullshit.
So the idea that every tool has a benefit and a risk is one level of the conversation, and we can come up with to a benefit, even if it misses the intuitive, pullback that a human trader might do over a 5-year track record. It's so obviously superior that
Which they already used for that purpose.
Right.
That's what Aladdin's doing. So
Right.
who is that benefiting?
But
It's not benefiting me.
No, it's not. No, but there is a cold hard benefit that is possible within the AI. Now, who it benefits, that's different.
They can execute the timing of it for you.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll happen. But then again, if a lot of people are doing that, and what it's doing is increasing your financial wealth, how does that benefit you?
Yeah.
I don't think it benefits you unless it improves you, like as a person, as a consciousness, as
Yeah.
a soul. But in the mechanistic worldview, yeah, you have more cash in the bank. That means you're a better person.
Yeah.
That means you're a healthier person.
A negative to every positive. Because I was about to say,
It has to.
whether you talk about a burn victim and nerve regeneration, a degenerative disease that could be cured, facial,
Yep.
Cosmetic surgery, things that AI might be able to go to that 20th decimal point that really does you want to go
Is this like a peaceful exit?
right. And so you get pneumonia and you don't have the immune system to fight it anymore. You've already fallen and broken your hip 2 times. You're all the stuff, and you just die. You just peacefully die. Now we can interrupt pneumonia. We can suspend your life for 10 more years. Continually reinforcing with all of these decisions and supposed benefits, we're reinforcing a damaged, flawed view of life to begin with. We aren't doing a good job, Hanson. You gotta.
I'm not.
I'm the one, I know, but you gotta rescue me from the pessimism of trying to find.
Yeah, I think the health services, the filtering of content, the increase of literacy.
Some developments that make it we can find it and we can get to it, which isn't just AI, but it's technology in a general sense. There are these kind of benefits to right some of the wrongs of the past and improve the human condition.
Yeah, yeah. To a very limited extent, where improvement is based on the mechanistic worldview.
And the threat level here, I think we can more appropriately gauge what benefits are truly beneficial and how to leverage them and use them in appropriate ways. It's only when we start to think in the utopian terms that no, this can solve all these diseases and cure global warming and and we start to
his spiritual worldview. He maintains and deepens his roots and then adds onto it unique perspectives. So he didn't learn astrology for astrology's sake. He integrated that system into his worldview and then became a more useful advisor.
Mm-hmm.
An example of somebody.
I got to say that didn't that didn't sound like.
Isn't a point about AI. This is a point about when knowledge is hampering. So it's not my story, but I know uh, from a woman who was telling me that her sister was told by a doctor. This was 25 years ago. Um, you're yeah we did the I can't remember what it's called now. It's like a test they can for sure in this. Okay, so she carries a child to term. The child does not have Down syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
Test was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Was that doctor sued for malpractice?
Mm-hmm.
Did he lose his license to practice? Was he guilty of a crime against humanity for conspiracy to murder?
Mm-hmm.
No, none of those things happened to him.
Mm-hmm.
He just powerful tools, but it's going to be the select few people that have the responsibility, the integrity, the humility, the charity to do that in a way that actually benefits people.
I want to end with that statement. I'm going to say again what you just said. All of that knowledge only removes us from paradise. Wow.
Episode 10, baby.